Hello students, welcome to Learner's Planet. In today's session, let us briefly discuss about the different types of tropic movements. You remember where these tropic movements you have studied? See, all organisms, they give response to different stimulus in different ways. But one basic thing which is common over there is the movement. They are responding to a particular stimulus through various movements, right? In the case of plants, as there are no developed or complex muscular structures are there, so over there the movement is in some different pattern, right? And these movement, it is like tropic movement and the nestic movement. Tropic movement, which is the growth dependent, and the nestic, which is the growth independent movement. Fine. So let us discuss about the different types of tropic movements. These movements, they are taking place either in a direction towards the direction of the stimulus. That means the plant is showing the movement towards the direction from where the stimulus is coming, or it is moving away from the direction of the stimulus. And now, depending on the type of stimulus, there are different types of tropic movements. So let us see what are the examples or what are the different types, and let us just follow some examples. The very first type of tropic movement is the phototropism. And what do we mean by this phototropism? See, tropism is the directional movement and photo is the light. So it is a response of a plant which is given or which is shown towards the stimulus, that is the light. And such type of tropic movement is known as the phototropic movement, and the process of the phenomena is the phototropism. In this case, of course, if the movement of plant is taking place towards the direction of light, then it is known as the positive phototropic movement. And if the movement is away from the direction from where the light is coming, then it is known as the negative phototropic movement. As is shown here in this particular picture, if it is light, in this case, if you are placing a particular plant in a beaker, like, why we are keeping it in a beaker? Because it is going to be transparent, it is having water, so we can easily observe the direction towards which the different parts of the plants are moving, right? So what is going to be the observation here? The shoot part, it tends to bend towards the direction from where the light is coming, whereas this root, it tends to move, or it grows towards the direction away from the stimulus, that is the light. So the movement of this shoot towards the light is actually known. It is an example of positive phototropism, and movement of roots away from the direction of light is an example of negative phototropism. And of course, I told you earlier also one thing, that this type of movement is growth dependent, and this growth dependency is because of the various types of hormones which are present in different parts here. For example, how the shoot part is growing here, there is a presence of hormone auxins here in this case, right? And these auxins, they are sensitive to the light. So what happens when these are exposed to the light? Then these auxin hormones, they tend to move towards the direction away from the direction from where the light is coming, and therefore they are resulting in the imbalanced form of growth in the either direction or either side of the shoot part. On the side, away from this direction, there will be more and more cell division, due to which the shoot, it tends to bend in the opposite direction. You can just imagine the two unequal things, right? If the unequal ropes are placed together, definitely the bending towards be on the other side, right? The next type of this tropic movement is geotropism. Now this geotropism, it is a response of a plant which is given towards the stimulus, that is gravity. So in this type of tropic movement, stimulus is always gravity, right? Gravity, that means a force of attraction which is shown by the earth, right? That the earth, it has a force of attraction which actually pulls the things down in the downward direction. Fine. So if it comes to plants, then the shoot part, they are negatively geotropic. You remember in the earlier example we said the shoots are positively phototropic, as well as we can say additionally they are negatively geotropic. And this is the reason why the shoot is always moving in the upward direction or in the erect condition. Fine. Oppositely or alternatively, the roots, they are actually positively geotropic, and thus the roots always grow in the downward direction. Now we can prove this thing with the help of this particular picture or the experiment, in which the pot is placed in the tilted position, and the plant is growing over there. The base has been broken so that the roots can move out and we can observe the direction further. Now what observation is there? After some time the shoot part, it will get erected and it will move in the upward direction, or it will grow in the upward direction. So that means it is away from the gravity, isn't it? So this is, since it is moving away from the direction of the gravity, it is known as the negatively geotropic part of the plant. Similarly, roots after a particular length, they tend to move in the downward direction. That means they are attracted towards the gravity, and thus we are calling it as the positively geotropic part of the plant. Fine. The another type is Chemotropism. Now chemotropism, as the name itself is suggesting, it is a response which is given towards the stimulus chemical. So the part of the plant may move either towards the particular chemical, or it may move away from the site where the particular chemical is present. The best example that you can understand here, so as to clear this particular point, is the direction or the development of pollen tube in the plants during sexual reproduction. How the sexual reproduction takes place? Or in that case, the pollen grains, they get settled down over the stigma, right? They get stuck over the stigma of the female part of the flower, and this process is known as the pollination. Right. Now after this thing, the pollen grains, they develop, and they are actually they are developing a tube inside. The tube, if these are recognized, they are compatible with each other, then they tend to move the pollen tube. Now how this compatibility is actually observed, or it is actually recognized in these particular pollen grains or in the flower? So that is actually on the basis of the particular chemical which is secreted out by the ovary. So what will happen? These ovaries, they will the ovary of the plant or the flower, it will secrete out some secretion or a chemical, and the pollen grains, they are having the great tendency towards it. So it begins to develop this pollen tube, and this pollen tube tends to develop, or it grows in the inner part of the style, and will stretch down toward or extend down towards the ovary. So that means the ovary is having the chemical and the pollen tube is moving towards the ovary. So it is an example of positive chemotropism, right? And of course further these pollen tubes, they will transfer the male gametes into the ovaries, and there the fusion will take place. So this is what happening here in the chemotropism. Now this is of course an example of positive chemotropism, right? And the next type of tropic movement is the hydrotropic movement or the hydrotropism. As the name itself is suggesting, in this type of tropic movement, the stimulus is supposed to be water, right? Now, of course, when we consider this water, you must have observed the things actually practically also. These are some simple topics, but just the awareness is to be there. And for that thing, I can say that the shoot part of the plant is basically it is negatively hydrotropic, whereas the root part of this plant is always positive hydrotropic. Now to prove this thing, this picture is shown here. In this case, this is the pea plant which is grown in the sand here, or the soil, right? In this particular soil, it is the dry soil, and in that a porous pot has been placed. The soil, we have not directly added some water over there, but of course we have kept one porous spot in this particular soil. In the other nearby region, the pea has been, or the this seed has been sown. Right now, pot is filled with water, Now what will happen? Since it is porous in nature, the water is going to diffuse out into the soil. So the region or the soil which is present nearer to the pot is going to be more wet, and further the water molecules will actually diffuse towards the other direction also, but the level is going to be comparatively low, the level of water, right? Now as we compare this direction here, direction of this movement, this growth movement of root part and the shoot part. So further after some time we will find out, or you will see here, that the root, it will grow more towards the region where the more of water is available. So what does it suggest? It suggests that the roots are positively hydrotropic, whereas the shoot, you can see this in the diagram also, this shoot will move away from the direction from where the water is present, right? So this is the way how can we prove that plants are positively shoots are negatively hydrotropic, I'm sorry, and the shoots are positively hydrotropic. So this is all about the different types of tropic movements. Further we'll come back with some new topic. Till then, goodbye, see you.